We're gonna go from here. We're gonna go to the grain rack. I'll show you guys the grain. Then we're gonna go that way. I'm gonna show you the milling room. We're gonna look at the hot side of the brewing process, and then we'll look at the cold side, and then I'm gonna bring you back to the back.
Okay.
That works? Is that open fine?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, welcome to Demented Brewing Company. We're really excited to have you guys here. The brewery started last year, and we've come a long way in a year. If you want to take a tour with me, I'll show you what we've got going on. Right here, this is where we store all of our grain. We've got a mixture of two-row base malts along with specialty malts. They get combined to make the grist for a variety of our beers. Every beer is different. We use a variety of two-row base malt and different specialty malts to achieve, different balances and malt profiles. We come this way. I'll show you.
Sound like I'm stupid. What's grist?
So grist is just a combination of malts.
Okay.
When you talk about a grist, it's really just a combination of different malts that contribute to make a beer.
Okay, cool. It's a seasoning pack.
You follow me this way? Can you guys hop over this? All right. So what we'll do is we'll take those malts. Those are our whole uncrushed malted barley or wheat. And we'll load them into this grist case, which we actually made ourselves. This is a custom-made grist case.
Oh, nice.
It can hold close to 1,000 pounds of grain, it's run by two monster mills, which are 3-roller mills that are driven by a couple of drills that we just put together on our own, to try to, create a product that would cost us a lot more otherwise. So
I got a friend who homebrews and he has a whole contraption like this set up. And I remember sitting there just drilling, and I'm like, "What are we doing?" He's like, "You're milling grains. Just keep throwing them through."
Before this, we were pre-milling all of our grain.
Okay.
We would load it into like a little mill, and we'd pre-mill it all, and then we put it back in the grain bags. And then we have to manually dump it into the boot of the auger here. You can see it. The grist case and the mill is built right above that boot of the auger, and we would dump it manually into the boot of that auger.
Oh, man.
And it was such a pain. So this thing is a lifesaver. If you follow me this way.
It looks almost like the ending of Fargo.
Yeah. so that boot. That boot is a boot of our auger. So that's the auger up there, and there's an auger that's the motor, and then there's an auger that goes through this tube right here. And that auger will draw the grain from the mill all the way up to this point right here, where we have a chute that drops right into the top of this tank here. This tank is called the mash tun. In this tank, we combine the crushed grain with hot water to create our mash. We'll mash anywhere between 148 to 156 degrees, depending on the type of beer that we're trying to make. The lower the mash temperature, the thinner the body of the beer. The higher the mash temperature, the more residual sugars, unfermentable and residual sugars we're going to have in that beer, which will lead to more body in the finished product.
So stouts, that kind of thing?
Yeah,
So stouts are higher temperature?
Stouts you typically do at a higher temperature if you want more body in it. Reds, some Belgian styles that you want to have a lot of body in.
I work with the sours. I'm a big fan of sours.
Sours, they're usually fermented lower.
Okay.
They're a drier style. They're not really intended to be too malty.
Okay.
But so from here, the grain will sit. Once we combine hot water, which is a strike water, to achieve a mash temperature. So the combination of water and grain will fill this mash tun and get us to somewhere between 148 and 156 degrees. That'll sit in there for about an hour. And then what we'll do is a process called sparging, where we'll bring hot sparge water into the top of the mash tun and rinse the sugar out of the grain. The purpose of the mash is to convert the starches in the grain into sugars. So the water between 148 and 156 degrees activates enzymes in the grain which convert those starches into sugars. And the temperature, the difference in the temperature, dictates which enzymes are most active, which result in different combinations of sugar profiles, which is why higher temperatures will produce a less fermentable wort than a lower temperature, which will produce more fermentable wort. So we'll run 168 degree water through here to rinse the sugars out of this grain and pump it all into this kettle right here, which is our boil kettle. In there we'll collect usually around 12 barrels of wort, which is unfermented beer. We'll add hops and boil it for 60 to 90 minutes depending on the beer that we're making. After the boil, it's run through the heat exchanger down on the end. We use a combination of water and glycol to cool the wort down to fermentation temperature, which is usually somewhere between 66 and 68 degrees. Sometimes higher, sometimes lower, depending on the beer. But in general, around 66 to 68 degrees. From there, we get run into one of these tanks. We have two 10-barrel fermenters and 3 30-barrel fermenters. It'll get put in that tank, and then we will add yeast to it to ferment the sugars that we extracted in the mash into alcohol. So that process will take anywhere from 7 days, a week or two, basically. It's 7 to 10 days usually, sometimes up to a week, depending on whether it's a bigger beer or not. Some higher alcohol beers will take up to 2 weeks to fully ferment. Then we'll transfer the beer from the fermenter into this tank on the end over here. This is our bright beer tank. And this is where it will get fully cold crashed and conditioned and carbonated. So once it's carbonated, we'll transfer it into kegs, and those kegs will either go into that walk-in box there, which will be served right out of our tasting room at the brewery, or into our production box, where they'll eventually be palleted and put on the truck to go to our distributor.
So you do everything yourself?
Yeah. Well, my guys do.
So
let's be honest.
So with the sparging, is it the more sugar that comes out, like the higher alcohol content it'll be, or how does that work with the sparging? Because they usually get like the same amount.
I'm sorry.
Of sugar.
What was the question?
Oh, will you have a higher alcohol content based on how much sugar you get from the sparging, like when you wash it down?
Yeah. So the higher alcohol really depends on how much grain you use. The more grain you use, the more sugar you're gonna get.
Okay.
So for like a low alcohol beer like our Session IPA, the grist may only be 600 or 700 pounds of grain. But for something like our Russian Imperial Stout, which is 11% alcohol, that might be 1,200 pounds of beer. So that's really where you get more alcohol from this by using more of the raw material. Really doesn't have much to do with the brewing process. You can achieve higher efficiencies by altering the brewing process in certain ways, but usually, we get about the same efficiency. Even sometimes when you brew a bigger beer, you get a lower efficiency than you do when you're brewing a smaller beer. But it's really a matter of how much grain goes. That's cool. So, if you guys want to come down this way, I'll show you the barrels. We can talk a little bit about the barrels. So the last part of the tour our barrels. We have 6 different barrel projects going on this year. We have a Russian Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels, a Scotch Ale aged in Macallan Scotch barrels, a American Sour aged in Chardonnay barrels, a Flanders Red aged in Cabernet barrels, our 2015 Imperial Pumpkin aged in Caribbean rum barrels, and our Nightmare, a Belgian Dark Strong aged in brandy barrels. Part of what we did this year was we created a barrel legion. It's basically a bottle club, which entitles every member to a bottle of each release and a bottle and the chance to buy an additional bottle of each release. And they get 2 commemorative Belgian glasses in addition as like a gift for joining the program. So we just started this in December, and it's gone very well so far. The results have been great. We've already released Wrath, the Russian Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels. I think you guys have actually tried that. And we released Orcus. I think you guys tried that as well. The Scotch Ale aged in Macallan Scotch barrels. And we had the American Sour aged in Chardonnay barrels coming out most likely on July 8th and 9th. So really excited about this program. We're looking to expand it next year. Probably going to do 12 projects next year and have 2 different groups. We'll probably do a barrel legion, which will be all the clean beers, and then a sour legion, which will be 6 sour projects that we'll do. That way, people who don't like sours don't have to, be part of a program that includes sours. People who don't want the sours can just join the clean beer, and the people who want it all can join both. So that's pretty much the tour of the brewery, guys.
Where do you get the barrels from?
Rocky Mountain Barrel Company. Yeah, they're a great barrel broker. They help us out a lot. The guys over there are great. They've been very responsive to us, and they've been able to get us everything that we've been looking for. So
That's cool. So what's like the most life you can get out of a barrel? Like how long does it can you just keep using them like forever, or will it get to a point where
Until they start to leak.
it starts to leak?
Yeah.
and that's it.
if you take care of them, yeah.
Cool. And I see some of them are so much older than the others, and I made before I was born.
Basically, you want to steam them to make sure that nothing's growing in there, and you want to fill them soon after they're empty. But we'll continue to use barrels for sour projects for years and years until the barrel starts to leak. So as we buy more and more barrels, we'll probably continue to increase our sour production because that's a logical place for the barrel to go. And then when it starts to leak, we'll turn it on its side and turn it into a table. It's really cool.
Awesome.